Welcome back to part 2 of this trilogy of unboxing videos. Here we're going to take a look at volume 2. These are the reimagined versions of the original Gamera monsters. I kind of like these. The Gamera SF Movie Selection by Konami, Volume 2. Of course, if they do one series, they have to do a second, don't they? So let's take a look at these ones as well. Now, these ones are a little bit more unique in the sense that they feature the Showa era monsters. As you can see there, they are the Showa era monsters. Gamera, Barugon, Gaias, depending how you pronounce it, Viras, Giron, Giga, or Jiga, Zigra, or Zygra, depending how you pronounce these things, and Hyper Gaios there. They're all featuring, they're very heavily inspired by the original Showa era 60s and 70s monsters, but with a bit of a modern twist. They're almost like if they had been made into... I think this came out in 2005, this series, by the way. I think it's almost like if those creators back then had those designs that they'd come up with, the concepts, and made them with 2005's technology, or CGI possibly. So they're a bit more detailed. Left an arm in there. Bit more detailed and a little bit less like a man in a suit, and that's more apparent with some than it is with others. I actually think this Gamera one, and I have actually put them all in order so that they're in the order that I've just shown you on the box. I actually think this Gamera one is very close to the original anyway, which potentially that shows how good a design it was. Very tight connecting pegs. Bases all seem to be very similar and look like this, where you've got etchings of turtles. It's like a stone with etchings of turtles in the base, which I think is quite cool. So there's our Gamera. Look at the detail on that. Just like with Series 1, these are wonderful and hyper detailed. I think they're fantastic, these.
And here's Gamera in all his glory. Yes, the effects look a little bit ropey. Yes, the suit is a little bit shoddy. But this is 1960s Japanese cinema done on a very tight budget. That's just the way things were back then. But one thing these films were was fun and extremely imaginative when it came to the creature designs. Gamera obviously was the main focus of the series of Gamera films. It's in the title. He's a giant turtle. He's got the ability to breathe fire. He can turn into a UFO and fly. And he can just, well, fly anywhere. He's a really cool monster. And he fights for the cause of good. Justice and the Japanese way.
You get your bog standard instructions just like with Series 1, but with this one you also get a little bit of a advertisement for a DVD box set that was available at the time. So this one should be Barugon, and it is indeed. Comes with lots of pieces, does this one. Lots and lots of pieces. Same base. These spiky bits are very sharp. Sticking in there. Now you get options with this. You can either have it as it is, which is how I kind of like it. You can have it with the tongue, sort of like just hanging out of the mouth there, or you can have it with his weapon, his ability firing out there. I kind of like it just like that, personally. Alright, so there he is in all of his glory. Again, hyper detailed. Absolutely wonderful.
Barugon was an ancient reptile that was unintentionally hatched from an egg that was brought back from the Valley of Rainbows in New Guinea. He's able to extend his tongue and emit a freezing liquid capable of freezing entire city blocks. On top of this, he can also fire the Rainbow Death Ray. Upon his first confrontation with Gamera, he actually defeated him, leaving Gamera frozen solid. Naturally, Gamera recovered, and the rematch resulted in Barugon being dragged to his death at the bottom of Lake Biwa.
Okay, move that aside and we'll take a look at number 3. Which in theory should be Gaius, is it? It is. Yeah, Gaius. Same base again. And this almost looks like a cross between the original Gaius design and the 90s Gaius design, to be fair. It's somewhere in the middle there. I kind of like that. Got the super flat head. Definitely bat inspired, but looks a lot less like a man in a suit than that original kaiju did.
Gaius, the second foe to challenge Gamera after Barugon, and the only one to survive the 60s and 70s Showa era and return in the 90s Heisei era. Gaius emerged from an underground cave to feed on the human race. The ultrasonic scalpel emanated from Gaius's mouth is the primary weapon of attack, but other abilities of note are the wing gusts generated by flapping his wings, strong enough to blow away tanks and sometimes even buildings. Being nocturnal creatures that dwell in caves, Gaius are vulnerable to sunlight. As such, they have the ability to emit a fog-like gas from the vents on their chests. This gas is also rather poisonous. After several confrontations with Gamera, he was finally able to claim victory when he dumped Gaius into an active volcano.
At number 4 should be Virus. And it certainly is Virus. Same base, a little bit of a more metallic sheen to that one. And yeah, I think it's safe to say that that is much more how, if they could have got away with it using the special effects of the 60s stroke 70s, that's more like how this creature would have looked. It's still got that same goofball face, very, very goofy, but certainly there's nowhere there for a man's arms or legs to go, is there? Not a man in a suit, while still being truthful to that original design. Yeah, liking that.
Virus is a rather unique kaiju in that it didn't start life as this towering monster. In fact, it was a crew of aliens from the planet Virus that had come to conquer the Earth. Gamera defeated them. Ultimately, the Virians fused together to form the kaiju Virus in order to confront Gamera. This monstrous squid-like kaiju has 6 tentacles with suction cups strong enough to restrain an opponent. His head can align together to form a spear which proves strong enough to penetrate Gamera's shell. His only known weakness was extremely cold temperatures. Where's Barugon when you need him? Gamera finally defeated Virus by flying him up out of the atmosphere where Virus was frozen in the cold of space, and he sent him plummeting to the ocean, where he disintegrated upon impact.
Number 5, Giron. This is the one that I feel is most different from its original design. Looks more like a 90s designed creature to me. See what you think when it's all put together. You can see there's actually a peg on the base for this one for him to pop into his foot. Yeah, it's not a bad looking design, but I do think it loses a lot of the charm of the original design. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below whether or not you think this stands up to the classic design of Giron. Again, certainly doesn't look like a man in a suit though, but it does have that kind of like 90s anime monster alien kind of appearance to it. I feel anyway.
Giron is a monster that inhabits the planet Terra and is essentially used as a very effective guard dog by the last two surviving Terrans to defend against attacking space chaos. Giron is incredibly brutal, as evidenced here by his handling of this space chaos. His bladed head is razor sharp and can cut through just about anything, and can be used to deflect, or indeed reflect, many attacks back at his opponent. His blade also has a vibrating ability he can employ on the rare occasion it does meet its match. As a secondary weapon, Giron also sports shurikens, which he can fire from his head at the base of the blade. This ability is incredibly effective for long-range attacks when his opponent is out of reach of his blade.
Number 6 should be Giga stroke Giga, depending on how you pronounce it. Not much assembling to do on this one, and I think this one stays true enough to the original design whilst looking more like an animal, more like some kind of beast.
Giga is a legendary kaiju from the lost continent of Mu. When a statue known as the Devil's Whistle is taken from Wetster Island, the dormant Giga is awakened. Giga follows the Devil's Whistle all the way to Japan. There are several attempts from Gamera to stop her, including one which leaves Gamera implanted with Giga's parasitic young. These larvae consume Gamera's blood, leaving the skin on his head and arm transparent enough to see the bones beneath. Gamera recovers with the aid of humanity and challenges Giga again, eventually defeating her by impaling her through the head with the Devil's Whistle statue itself.
Number 7. We've got Zygra or Zygra here. Again, same base, but this time with a hole in it for this peg to go into, this pin. Got a lovely metallic sheen going on with the shark there. There's a shark-like monster, isn't it? But that certainly doesn't look like it's got 2 feet in it, does it? That tail. Certainly does look like a creature that could live under the sea, doesn't it?
Zygra is another extraterrestrial kaiju that planned to conquer Earth. His fish-like race prey on humanoids, and he came to Earth with the intention to turn the human race into cattle. Zygra had the ability to mind control humans and use them as his agents. His plan would have succeeded too, if not for that meddling giant turtle, Gamera. Taking matters into his own fins? Zygra left his UFO to take care of Gamera. In the sea, Zygra had indeed the upper fin against Gamera, but when their battle took to the land, Gamera gained the advantage and was able to overpower and defeat the alien fish.
And then the final one is Hypergaios, obviously using the same mould as the earlier figure, but with a silver effect in the paint. Very common in the Gamera toy lines for them to just do the same one again with a slight silver hue. I think it was Gamera versus Giron where this popped up. Oh, there's a peg on that one as well. Look. I missed that on the other. Yeah. So that's almost black with a gunmetal effect, isn't it?
Space Gaios, not to be confused with Hypergaios. Ahem. Bless. Gareth can't be right all the time, can he? Though he likes to think he is. So yeah, Space Gaios were causing trouble for the Terrans on Terra, but were quickly and brutally dispatched by Giron. Having the same abilities as the regular Gaios, there's not really much to say. Except they don't appear to have the same aversion to daylight as normal Gaios do, as evidenced here.
Well, that's the second episode down. Join me next time when we take a look at Gamera the Brave. Admittedly, not my favourite set of figures, but that's probably got something to do with the fact that Gamera the Brave is not my favourite Gamera movie. Who'd have thunk? Be sure to let me know in the comments which of these bad boys was your favourite. Which one would you like to see on your shelf, or would you have to have all 8? Right, until next time when we unbox this one, take care, bye bye.
Bye, guys.